Great, nice to have you. Faces
you.
of South Asia. I understand you represent DOVE.
Yes, I do.
Would you tell something about yourself, DOVE, as well as what you do?
Sure. So I'm the Outreach and Education Manager at DOVE. So I do lots of trainings to the community, to businesses, to schools, social service agencies, people that are interested in learning more about domestic violence and working with victims and survivors. And I also do a lot of work in high schools, primarily with high school students, talking about teen dating violence. So
I understand it's a big issue, the teen dating violence. Is that true? It starts quite early in life.
It is, yeah. So February is actually Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, so it's a very appropriate discussion. But the statistics say that about 1 out of 4 high school female students will experience teen dating violence at some point in their relationships. So it's an extremely high number. So there's a lot of interest from the schools wanting to get some more education for their students, but also a big buy-in from students wanting to talk about relationships. How can I help my friend? How can I kind of navigate my own relationships? So
really, so it's the teens itself, they want to help each other.
Absolutely.
That we never knew.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So are you like going to different schools and telling them about this, about teen violence, and making aware, like for the girls and the boys, like the DARE program that like the schools have?
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to do? Or?
Absolutely. Okay. So we have a pretty close relationship with Quincy and North Quincy high schools, and also Randolph High School, and we train a group of students to be peer leaders within their school. So they go through 3-day training where they learn about how to kind of be active bystanders in their school, how to make a difference, how to stand up when they see something like that happening, and knowing how to respond appropriately to help other students. So in turn, after they're trained, they then go into freshman classrooms, and it's mostly upperclassmen that are presenting. So I think the message hits home even closer because the message is coming from their peers and not from
what a great
adults.
Program.
Yeah,
that's great. What kind of violence do you see among teens?
We're seeing a big increase in abuse using technology. So
you mean the phones and stuff?
Yeah.
So like messaging.
Definitely. 10 years ago, we didn't have to talk about these things, and now there's a way for an abusive person to control every aspect of somebody's life. Constant text messages, constant phone calls, where are you, who are you with, abuse with demanding passwords. I need to go through your email, I need to read through your messages, and really trying to control every aspect of someone's life.
I guess that's being very possessive, is that?
Exactly. That's a huge, huge warning sign.
But at what age does this teen violence that you're seeing with the technology?
I think as soon as students are allowed to have phones, which is younger and younger and into middle school. So we're really trying to teach young students about healthy boundaries, about what your rights are. People in healthy relationships don't go through each other's phones. They don't demand each other's passwords or check up on each other constantly. And I think that message gets lost sometimes, and people are easily drawn into someone that's can control that way, and often it can be seen as a sign of love. So we spend a lot of time talking about possessiveness and jealousy are not signs of love.
Oh, that's such a clear message.
It is. So what do you do? Like, well, how do you tell them, like, this is not allowed, or this is not, this is not how you do if you're in a relationship.
Right.
How do you encourage the kids to come out and talk to them? Because maybe they don't know.
Right.
Like, maybe they've seen the families doing it, or the parents doing it, or other people doing it, and they're just picking that up. They think it's fine because they don't know any better.
Absolutely.
So what do you do? Like, can you help out people? You're saying this is not appropriate, or Because I think a lot of people think, oh, that's so nice, like, he's
Right.
paying so much more attention to me,
Yeah.
it's all like
Mhm.
a girly thing. But,
So we really try to help people to see that through to the other end, and
Right.
that maybe at first it can feel kind of nice. This person is really interested in me, they really like me, they want to know all about me.
Right.
But that down the road, not being able to have a separate identity from this other person, having your own friends, being able to make your own decisions, that doesn't feel good anymore. And being able to identify those really early warning signs of jealousy and possessiveness, that those progress, and that control kind of continues and can become very, very unhealthy and possibly abusive physically.
Now, Jen, why is it only 3 schools that you are catering to? Why not in a wider spectrum?
Yeah, it's certainly a goal that we have to branch out to new schools. Some schools do the curriculum already within their health classes, but as we kind of grow our program, our goal is really to be in every high school that's in our in Norfolk County, and also to bring that program to middle schools.
Yes.
As we know, students are starting to date really young,
Yes.
and having that kind of education before you start dating is what's important. So
What a great idea. The whole reason of doing this show really to this view come that you have to do it early on, before middle school or just entering middle school. They should have some kind of a program like you are to the older schools. And does it really work? Have you seen it work? Have the girls or the boys who've been abused, have they stopped abusing? Have they had a healthy relation?
Right.
Do you have that kind of results?
I think that anecdotally we are able to hear from guidance counselors and from students within the school that they've been able to step in and know what to say and know what to do when they see someone in an unhealthy relationship. Because it can be scary,
Yes.
we were brought up in a culture of it's none of my business, I'm going to turn the other way, it's between them. And that's really a message that we try to break down, that actually it is your business, it's happening in your school. The reason that this is still happening in 2014 is because people turn the other way. So the more people that are going to stand up and say something, I was at, I think it was North Quincy High School a couple of years ago, talked about a couple of girls that had gone through our training, and they had a good girlfriend who was being strangled in a relationship with her partner, and they were able to step in, talk to her about those safety concerns, know to bring that to a guidance counselor. The guidance counselor was able to intervene and come up with a safety plan. So we're not able to kind of see, there's 50% less abusers, but we're able to know that our goal is that the information is out there, that people know how to get help and stay safe. And the bigger picture is to create social change, and that takes place over a long period of time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
I met Jen in one of the courses that DOVE offers. That's coming up right now, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, in the month of March.
Yep, March and April.
Yes, that's such a lovely course. It covers, and that's how I got so interested in domestic violence and eye-opener,
Yeah.
It's such an eye-opener. So
Absolutely.
is it, apart from the teens, do the adults also, of course they are being abused, and how do you also help them?
Absolutely.
Does DOVE help them also?
So DOVE offers counseling and advocacy to adult victims of domestic violence. We work with men and women regardless of sexual orientation and gender, and folks can come in and meet with an advocate and get some help talking about if they're looking to leave a relationship, how to do that safely. And some people are not looking to end the relationship, but are looking for some emotional support and ways to stay safe and kind of understand what's going on in their relationship. So we're really able to offer services without pushing people or being judgmental. So the statistics are very close to being the same, that about 1 out of 4 women, adult women, will find themselves in an abusive relationship at some point.
So it's the same
ratio.
Yeah, ratio, like with the teenagers you were saying before, and with adult women too.
Absolutely.
So it's going to take some time to change people and to see, what behaviour is acceptable and what behaviour is not acceptable. That is going to be our biggest challenge.
Absolutely.
Now, have you noticed that when the adult is abused, and over the years I'm sure they have their children, and do they also get into the abuse pattern of accepting for teenage abuse, the child of an abuser, child of an abused or an abuser, when comes of age and has started dating, do they also go through the same, like they take it for granted that this is probably acceptable? Have you noticed anything?
So, being abusive is a learned behavior. So we do see that certainly just because someone's parent is abusive does not automatically make someone abusive, and the same for being a victim or a survivor. But it is a learned behavior, and as you mentioned earlier, oftentimes people don't have many good examples. All my friends are in bad relationships, all my parents and the rest of my family, and so having a really solid understanding of what respect and
self-confidence,
sure, communication and all those kinds of things that are important in a relationship might not have been learned at home. So it's such an important subject to discuss. Relationships really affect every part of our life. And
like for teenagers, I was just wondering, is it like peer pressure, like the boys, I did this, or think that they can do stuff and think, it's acceptable? Is that what I don't know what what you find?
That's some of that social change that we're looking for, and we're really trying to. There are women that are abusive, and young women that are abusive as well, but predominantly we're talking about men being abusive. So some of the work that we do is really trying to get men to call out their male peers on their behavior. So instead of kind of laughing and accepting sexual jokes and sexual manipulation and pushing and shoving and kind of those misogynistic words that we'll hear some men use, really calling other men to stand up, and that's where change will happen.
So we need to really educate the boys.
Absolutely.
I think this is where the problem is running into, because it's always been a man's world out there, and I guess it's going to take a little while, especially in different kind of parts of the world or parts of society, culturally too.
It's kind of accepted. So what's happening is, what Dove is also trying to do is educate everyone, male and females, but educate to let them know that it's not accepted, and to understand the symptoms, because many of them probably don't know the symptoms of abuse.
And I think also to really kind of combat the victim blaming that happens, and how for some reason our society wants to put the blame on the victim in the relationship. It's their fault for staying, it's their fault for getting into the relationship, for having children, and really trying to break that down and understand the danger in leaving, the financial oppression, and all the other kinds of complicated factors that we discuss in the training that really don't allow someone to leave a relationship, even if they want to. And I think breaking down some of the judgment really will help with...
The training is priceless. To me, from outside, when I did the training is priceless. I think it's not only for abusers and abuse or the victim. I think everyone should take that training as a way of understanding society.
Absolutely.
And educating their children so that we can stop violence much early in life.
Have you ever thought, sorry, go ahead.
No,
I said, have you ever thought of actually putting this, the training that you do, like supposing some people can't get into the training program, to televise it, some of the classes, or have discussions about how you train and what you can see and what you can help out with?
Yeah, definitely. we would love to kind of expand our training and videotape it and whatnot, and that's something that we're kind of slowly starting to do. But we also are able to go out to sites and offer kind of condensed training for people that...
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I also learned of the elderly abuse, which was absolutely something I didn't understand. And during the training classes, all the videos that we saw for the elderly was really touching. Would you shed some light on that, please?
Sure. So there is a great lack of services for older folks that are experiencing domestic violence. Predominantly, we see quite a range of age in our shelters, but predominantly it's somewhere 20s, late 40s, something like that.
So abusing the elderly?
No, folks that are utilizing our shelter services.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So for an elderly person that is looking to maybe someone that's disabled, has a hard time getting around, for them to leave their home, leave this person that's abusive, there really is a lack of services for folks. To ask a 70 or 80-year-old woman to move into a shelter with 20-year-old women and children is just not a good fit. So there's certainly a lack of services. There's some other obstacles that older folks face in that in their generation it was often there was even more victim blaming. This is the way it is. This is something that you just have to deal with. So trying to break some of those down and provide some support to older survivors. So some of it is what we call abuse grown old, which is an abusive marriage or relationship that has both partners have progressed into an older age. And other times we see, which is a little different from intimate partner violence, young grandchildren or children that are kind of abusing the parent that they're taking care of.
Absolutely.
And that's certainly unfortunate. So we do work with some elder care services that kind of can go out and help folks. So I believe it's anyone over 65. So
DOVE is basically covering the teenage, the adults, as well as the elderly. That's quite a huge work, community work you're doing.
Yeah.
What would you like to televise? Like, how would you like to televise it? What you just mentioned, you would like to televise or video record and show it to different schools. What would you like to do? Is to put the whole training program into the video, or would you like to take segments and reach out to the schools?
I think if there was a way to do something in a safe way to share some survivor stories, if some survivors were open and it was safe for them to share their story, I think that can be really inspirational to kind of bring some of those stories to schools and to trainings. Trainings are great because you get to do lots of interaction with each other. I think sharing some survivor stories would be wonderful. Schools are really love reenactments and videos and things like that. So
that's great. Would you have on teen violence a survivor story, just by something without the names, without their locations? What caught your attention other than the strangling story? I cannot believe that a teenager was being strangled in a relationship called love.
Yeah.
What, something recall that you have this year or the last year? Do you have any stories?
There's some more similar stories of girls being really concerned about their friends, about a friend that has, thinking of a couple years ago, some girls were really, really afraid for their friend. She was not regularly coming to school. She wasn't allowed to hang out with them on the weekends. This person that she was dating was very controlling about what she was able to wear and who she was able to talk to. This abusive person had kind of separated her from her parents and kind of tried to break off that relationship. So lots of isolation, lots of control. jealousy, and instead of accepting that or being mad at the friend for kind of not spending time with them, they were able to understand the dynamics behind that and be supportive to her and not tell her what to do, not confront the abuser, but be supportive in a way of, I'm worried about you, how can I help you, let's go and talk to a trusted adult. So there's lots of great stories about friends kind of stepping in and being there as a support.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
So what's your message on Valentine's Day on respect of love?
Yeah, so we're asking schools to read a proclamation on Valentine's Day that love has many definitions, but abuse is not one. So
Great.
we're hoping to really spread that. Yeah.
Wow, that is really excellent.
That's wonderful. And this is Jen. Thank you once again, Jen.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for
It's
having
really informative.
Yes, it was amazing.
Great.
Hi from Faces of South Asia. This is my presentation for Valentine's Day, from my table to yours. And this is a special day. We celebrate love. And I have a message for you, and that is, please do not abuse love. Love is very beautiful. It's lovely. It's delicate. And it's something you feel it. You do not abuse it. So spread the word to all your friends, to you and to your family. Happy Valentine's Day from Faces of South Asia to you. Happy Valentine's Day from Faces of South Asia.